Good evening, and thank you very much for joining us tonight. My name is Agnes Tuniga, and this is TBC News. First, our headlines tonight. Mchengerwa says voter registration overwhelmingly successful. Zanzibar seeks further strategic Africa ties.
Would definitely encourage more cooperation around the different areas that I have just mentioned.
Good evening once again. I'm Agnes Tuniga. You can also follow us live on our YouTube channel, TBC Online, and also get all the latest news through our Instagram, Facebook, and X pages at TBC Online. Minister of State, President's Office, Local Government and Regional Administration, Mohamed Mchengerwa says 31 million Tanzanians have registered to vote in the upcoming local government elections expected to be held on November 27th this year. He made the announcement when speaking to journalists, highlighting the exercise was 94.83% successful. Here's the report by Paskazia Bugumba, read by Faithangaka.
It was 10 days set aside for Tanzanians to register in the voters list ready for the local government elections. At first, few people showed up, but as days went by, the number increased.
In my street, we did not encounter any problems. The registration process went smoothly. People went to register, and then afterwards, they went back home.
This year's local government election registration process went very well.
The Minister of State gives an overview of how the whole exercise was conducted.
Jumla kuu ni takriban 94.
In total, approximately 94.83% of Tanzanians from 18 years and above have been registered for the upcoming local government elections, as it was intended to be.
After the registration exercise is complete, the next step is the citizens who have registered to validate their names.
The list of voters will be put on notice boards in villages and streets so that citizens can cross-check their names.
Local government elections are expected to be held on the 27th of next month, where Tanzanians will vote for their local leaders. That day has already been declared a public holiday to give people an opportunity to fully participate in the exercise.
The President of Zanzibar and Chairman of the Revolutionary Council, Dr. Hussein Ali Mwinyi, says Zanzibar, in partnership with oil and gas companies, have discovered large deposits of natural gas and has launched offshore licensing for oil and gas exploration. Dr. Mwinyi made the remarks when he met and held talks with various ambassadors representing African countries at the State House after completing a 3-day visit to Zanzibar to explore investment opportunities in areas of cooperation with Zanzibar. Here are more details.
Dr. Mwinyi insists that the time has come for African countries to join hands, share expertise and experiences, and capitalize on its endowed resources to develop their economies.
These are the major sectors under the blue economy. The fact that you are here and your readiness to cooperate with us, to work with us, to make sure that you act as ambassadors for Zanzibar tourism in your country is very highly appreciated. And I would definitely encourage more cooperation around the different areas that I have just mentioned. Zanzibar is being connected to the coastal areas, which include, of course, Mombasa, but also Comoros, and so on. We can still do bigger business than we are doing currently. And in the past, we had very good trade with Comoros. I think it is time now we revive that so that we can have more trading between our coastal areas as well as Mombasa, for that matter.
On the other hand, the ambassadors led by the Dean of Diplomatic Corps of Tanzania, Dr. Ahmad El Badoy Mohammed, assessed that the time has come for African embassies to cooperate in various areas, especially on the economic sectors, vying to promote Zanzibar's tourism sector.
From 1995, which I began to come in Zanzibar, and today there are many different and a big difference which I cannot. When I go at home, Vuga or Mombasa is easy in the night. I use the car without any difficulty. Before was not that.
The group of the African Diplomatic Group, we are here committed to Tanzania and also to Zanzibar specifically also, where our job here is to make sure to forecast our cooperation.
African nations can lift each other economically. Our main focus is to lift each other up on our own. Most times, when we depend on foreigners to support us, we may encounter some challenges. Therefore, we Africans can conduct trade with each other. We can also visit each other, and this will boost regional tourism.
The delegation included ambassadors from Burundi, Comoros, Kenya, Malawi, Egypt, Morocco, Sudan, Rwanda, Uganda, and Zambia.
The Vice President, Dr. Philip Mpango, says in-depth research and studies are needed to change practices that are an obstacle to the development of the nation. Opening the 30th anniversary of the Economic and Social Research Institute, ESRI, in Dar es Salaam, the Vice President has criticized any action of glorification of unethical behaviors and dependence among young people.
As I observe our society today, I realize that there has evolved a culture that is not conducive to rapid development, and I see this in a number of areas. They include an entrenched behavior of not valuing time as an important resource. As such, lack of punctuality at workplaces, meetings, and other occasions is very common. Dishonesty and unfaithfulness at workplaces continues to persist. Hard work and diligence have been eroded and are being replaced by unscrupulous means to earn a living. A large number of our youth in urban areas are idle and spend most of their time hanging out, vijiweni, or gambling.
Furthermore, the Vice President expresses the government's commitment to continue to support research based on national priorities.
Our ambition in government is to scale up research funding and investment in research supportive infrastructure. The government shall also continue to urge ministries, departments, and agencies to use services rendered by ESRI to inform the development of sectoral policies and strategies. Equally, the government will continue to encourage the private sector, civil society organizations, development partners, and other players, both local and international, to work with or partner with ESRI.
The meeting was attended by researchers, academics, policymakers, various development stakeholders, as well as current and former employees of the Institute, ESRI. The Minister of Community Development, Gender, Elderly and Children, Riziki Pembe Juma, says the number of women in leadership positions has increased due to the government's right policies and strategies to promote women. He made the remarks while opening the Conference on Women and Gender in Southern Africa in Dar es Salaam. Antonia Kivaria has more details.
During the meeting, the UN Women Country Representative, Hodan Odu, says in building a strong, inclusive and sustainable society, we need women leaders in decision-making positions.
It's clear that women, and as we've seen also through the examples that our brother just shared, that women are the backbone. Yes, the men and the fathers are great. We need gender advocates, but the women are the backbone of our societies in Africa, playing vital roles across many sectors. Too often, their leadership potential is hampered by deeply entrenched social norms, limited opportunities, and structural inequalities.
Max Tamlas, head of Cooperation European Union, says women have directly impacted half of the world population through leadership positions, insisting that women in leadership is vital for economic development.
The topic of women in leadership is of immense importance for the future of our countries, as it directly impacts the progress and potential of half of our population in the world. In Tanzania, we are fortunate to have a strong example of female leadership, starting with President Samia and Honorable Juma, here present, alongside with other women in prominent positions, such as Deputy Minister and Commissioner.
The Minister of Community Development, Gender, Elderly and Children in Zanzibar, Riziki Pembe, elaborated the program aims to exchange knowledge and experience in leadership issues and also launch the 5th and 6th training for women leaders.
Serikali yetu chini ya uongozi wa jemedari wetu wa majeshi mkuu
The government realizes that the consideration of gender issues has a great contribution in promoting citizens' interests and also contributing at different political levels, including civil organizations as well as regional governments and local government elections. The number of women in leadership positions has increased by 28.6% in the past 24 years due to the government's right policies and strategies to promote women. Antonia Kivaria, TBC News.
Statistics and data have been termed to be imperative to policy creation that affects economic development of the East and Horn of Africa countries. The remarks have been made by various stakeholders from Africa countries in the meeting Dar es Salaam, focusing on strengthening labor, migration, statistics, the East and Horn of Africa.
One of the countries benefiting from this program, the Better Regional Migration Management Program, covers 7 countries in the East and Horn of Africa. The countries are Ethiopia, South Sudan, Somalia, Uganda, Kenya, Djibouti, and Tanzania. As you all know, the issue of statistics and data is scarce in our region, especially more so on labor migration statistics. So in order to improve the statistics and data in the countries in the Eastern Horn of Africa, we're organizing this training. So all policies being developed on labor migration are evidence-based policy, so that there's informed data within the different countries in the region.
Ofisi za taifa za takwimu duniani kote huwa zinaandaa takwimu kulingana na miongozo ya Umoja wa Mataifa.
Statistical offices around the world, it prepares statistics according to United Nations guidelines, but the guidelines meet the needs of the respective countries. What is happening here today is that the International Labour Organization has organized a training session for brainstorming among statistical experts, but also policymakers and employers' associations to assess the current situation regarding international migration related to labor issues.
The problem of labor migrants is very wide in Somalia. So unless we get reliable statistics and data, we cannot know their magnitude, we cannot know about their, how to plan for the integration of the national development. That's why we are here today for this beautiful training.
The program aims to achieve better understanding on states of international labor mobility and its impacts and contribution to labor market at local, national, regional and global levels. The National Environment Management Council, NEMC, Manager of Compliance and Enforcement, Hamad Taimuru, has warned on the improper management of used batteries, which poses serious environmental risks due to the toxic lead they contain, calling on the community to collaborate with the government to achieve proper management of the used batteries. He made the remarks in Dar es Salaam during a 5-day workshop which aims to discuss strategies for enhancing the management and recycling of the batteries.
We have people from manufacturing industry and the recycling industries. We are all here discussing about how to improve lead acid recycling without posing any environmental or health impact to the people and the environment in general. Currently, we have some recycling industry in Tanzania, and all the industries have certificates, have permits to do that. And you can't do the recycling or collecting or transporting lead acid battery without permit because have been categorized as a hazardous waste.
It's known worldwide that lead is hazardous, particularly to young children, that the brains are developing. Lead affects children's brains. They don't develop fully if they are exposed to lead.
On the other hand, the senior researcher from Okello Institute, Germany, Andreas Manhart, explains how hazardous lead acid batteries can be to human health if not handled properly.
In economy, it's using a lot of battery. There is a recycling industry for the batteries. So we were approached to come here to work with colleagues here in Tanzania from the regulators, also from the industry and also from NGOs.
Tanzania Revenue Authority, TRA, has entered into an agreement with the Tanzania Investment Center, TIC, to work together to solve tax challenges facing any investor. Speaking after the meeting involving experts from both sides, the Commissioner General of the Tanzania Revenue Authority, Yusuf Mwenda, says the measure will increase tax collections, while the TIC Executive Director, Gilead Terry, insists that the joint team of experts have the responsibility to ensure smooth implementation of the plan.
Tumeunda timu ya kutatua matatizo yanayojitokeza.
Therefore, we have formed a team to quickly solve problems that arise for investors so that they can conduct their activities. I want to assure all investors who are experiencing challenges with tax issues that TRA and TIC will work together to solve and address their challenges.
Tumezungumza kuhusu masuala mbalimbali yakiwemo.
We have discussed various issues, including firstly, improving the professional relationship between TIC and TRA. Secondly, establishing a joint system to address investment challenges that arise between our two institutions. And thirdly, having a team of experts that will regularly review the cooperation between our two institutions.
Members of Dar Toastmasters Club from African countries say communication and leadership skills are critical in developing countries, calling on more Tanzanians to build a tendency on sharpening their communication skills. They made the call during Toastmasters conference held in Dar es Salaam.
10 years ago, I realized that I need to shape up, I need to upskill my communication skills so that I can communicate effectively, I can engage effectively, but I can also make a change that I desire.
A Toastmasters program is not only to empower people to be confident to speak, but also rather teach you leadership skills and just empower yourself as a human being.
My intention when I joined the Toastmasters Club was to reduce my fear and nervousness when I'm speaking in front of people or in public.
I was very nervous and not confident with myself. I was taking up a role in Tanzania as the country manager, and therefore I needed to communicate and I needed to interact with my customers, be able to make sales, but with my nervousness, I would not be able to articulate myself very well.
Toastmasters International is a non-profit organization that builds confidence and teaches public speaking skills through a worldwide network of clubs that meet online and in person. Veteran politician and activist Professor Anna Tbcnews has highlighted the crucial significance of local government elections, urging young people to actively participate and run for the positions. With the local government elections fast approaching, Professor Tbcnews emphasizes the need for youth involvement in shaping the future of their communities.
The local government elections are actually very important. And I am happy, I think, that people have started to realize the importance of local elections. You know, to elect the street, the area chairman, you know, the mtaa chairman, the village chairman. The village chairman is a village president. And all politics and life is local. You live in Tanzania, but for me, I live in Mikocheni. So my fate, the chairman of Mikocheni is my boss, is my leader. So it is very important for people to participate in local elections. And I would like to encourage young people to come and take up, vie for these positions. Because all life is local, is localized. People actually want to have educated people in these positions. If only we have the understanding and the humility to do what it takes and convince the people to vote for you. And the people will not vote for you if you don't talk with them, you don't eat with them, you don't, when they are in problems, you don't show up. So people, the community, people will not vote for you if you are not part of community. If you just take your bag during the election, think you are going to buy people around, you are not going to succeed. People have to see you as part of their community.
That was your leader segment. Before we wind up our local news tonight, let us now have a look at today's exchange rates according to the Bank of Tanzania, BOT. Don't miss TBC News every weekday to know all the latest in exchange rates. Time now for all the latest in international news. And now here's the international news as compiled and read by Lulua Mohammed.
COP16 UN Biodiversity Summit has kicked off in Colombia. The opening ceremony was attended by government officials and representatives of indigenous people. The summit aims to negotiate the next steps in implementing the 2022 Kunming-Montreal COP adopted by Paris Agreement biodiversity. During his speech, the president of Colombia, Gustavo Petro, said that strong economies like US, China and Europe need to take actions to reduce carbon dioxide globally. Millions of Cubans are struggling to cope without electricity after the national grid collapsed for a fourth time since Friday. It comes as a major storm made landfall in islands at eastern coast, bringing heavy rain as well as strong winds. The energy minister said the government could restore power by Tuesday. Authorities have announced measures to cut electricity demand, including suspending non-essential services. Gunmen have shot dead a human rights activist in southeast of Mexico. Padre Marcelo Perez was a Catholic priest and he had just celebrated Mass when he was attacked on his way back to his parish. Prosecutors in the southern state of Chiapas said two men on a motorcycle pulled alongside his vehicle and shot him. Crowds gathered to pay tribute to him. The priest denounced drug trafficking and supported grassroots movement fighting back against organized crime. And votes have also been counted in Moldova for presidential election and referendum in joining the European Union. Earlier results showed half of the voters rejected the country's bid joining the bloc. Incumbent President Maya Sandu is blaming criminal groups as well as foreign powers interfering with the poll. The vote comes as the country remains divided over its EU aspirations and ties with Russia. Maya Sandu is leading in the presidential race, but so far it showed 50% required to form a government.
That was international news. Sports news follows shortly. And in sports news, Young Africans head coach Miguel Gamondi says his team is ready to collect again all 3 points as they play against JKT Tanzania in the ongoing Tanzania Premier League. Gamondi adds that his team do not play down any opponent as he eyes to win and stay at the top of the league table, while JKT Tanzania head coach says they are ready to battle against the tough Young Africans.
Will be difficult, but I think will be very, very good game because I can guess this coach like this type of football like play, and for sure they will be very tough defensively, but they want to play. I think they want to attack as well, and will be a nice game to play. No doubt. But it's up to me and the players how we can open space and try to create most chances possible to try to score and win the game.
Young Africans has collected 15 points after winning all 5 matches and sits in 3rd place of league table, while JKT Tanzania is at 6th place with 10 points. Minister of State, Prime Minister's Office, Labour, Youth Employment and Persons with Disability, Ridwan Kikwete, encouraged sport and well-being at work, insisting exercise should be integrated into the daily work routine to avoid preventable non-communicable diseases and increase productivity.
If we prevent non-communicable diseases by exercising and giving up bad habits, eating healthy diets, eliminating stress, anxiety and depression, not only will we build good health, but it will also enable us to achieve our work goals, personal and for the well-being of our families, business and our country, and to have a great power in the efficiency of those works. You can exercise during the weekend like this. You can exercise in the evening when you leave work. It doesn't matter what exercise you do. That will help you build your health. And good health will help you work better with your colleagues and be more productive because you will not have problems here and there.
A sedentary lifestyle is a known risk factor for a host of chronic diseases, including cardiovascular diseases, diabetes, and mental health issues such as depression and anxiety. That is sports news, and now before we conclude the news bulletin for tonight, let's take a look at our weather update for the next 24 hours.
Hello and welcome again to the next 24 hours forecast starting tonight at 9 p.m. From Tanzania Meteorological Authority, my name is Ramadan Omari. Windy is expected to flow at 30 kilometers per hour over the northern coast, while over the southern coast, Lake Victoria, Tanganyika, and Lake Nyasa, windy speed is expected to reach 20 kilometers per hour. And the state of the sea and the lakes are expected to be slightly to moderate. And rainfall models are showing signal of rainfall over some areas of our country, especially along Lake Victoria Basin towards western part of our country. And tonight, area along Lake Victoria towards western part of our country, together with Rukwa region, expected to feature partly cloudy condition, thunder showers over a few areas. And the remaining regions are expected to feature partly cloudy conditions. And tomorrow, areas along Lake Victoria Basin, western part of our country, together with Rukwa region, are expected to feature partly cloudy condition, thunder showers over a few areas in sun periods. Over the northern coast and southern coast, we are expecting to feature partly cloudy condition, light rain showers over a few areas in sun periods. And the remaining regions are expected to feature partly cloudy conditions and sun periods. And now, let's have a look on the next weather forecast over some regions of our country. In Dar es Salaam, we're expecting light rain, especially on the 24th. In Dodoma, maximum temperature is expected to be 29 degrees Celsius. In Mbeya region, maximum temperature is expected to be 27 up to 28 degrees. In the Mwanza region, thunder showers are expected in some areas. In Kilimanjaro, maximum temperature is expected to be 32 degrees. In Morogoro, maximum temperature is expected to be 30 degrees. And in Arusha region, we are expecting maximum temperature to be 27 degrees Celsius. From Tanzania Meteorological Authority, that is all for today. Thank you for watching and goodbye.
And that marks the end of our news bulletin for tonight. Don't miss our next bulletin in Kiswahili at 11 p.m. On behalf of the whole team, I'm Agnes Tuniga. Thank you very much for being with us. Good night.
Tanzania yetu ndio nchi ya kusifiwa kote